Welcome back. Hope everybody had a great holiday. And by the way, Happy New Year to everyone. Uh, here's what we're talking about: forward thinking. Okay, so what really is forward thinking? Looking ahead and not worrying about what you're doing currently, worrying about the present and what the future might have. Here's what I always look at, Trevor. Okay, Trevor, I welcome him back. He's my co-host. Thanks a lot, Trevor. I hope your holiday was great. But here's the thing I look at: what I did in the past, what I'm doing in the present. That tells me what I could be doing in the future. Don't worry about the past. The past you can't fix. It's about the present and the future. Never worry about what you did. It don't matter what you did. What matters is what you're doing now and what you're going to do tomorrow. All right. And now, let me just say that we're doing with ShopSmart this whole thing. Trevor, talk to me a little bit about what you think about ShopSmart.
Well, thanks for having me back, Richie. This year has been a history lesson for all of us. Since the automotive industry has had a handle on technology for a while now, we did learn from 2020 and how will the digital age impact our business model for 2021 and going forward.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Trevor, because let's face it. So a website gets traffic, a dealership website. They might have 300 cars, or they might have 1,000 cars. Here's why sites like ourselves, and let's mention some names: Auto Trader, TrueCar, Cars Direct. Why do they get a higher conversion than a dealership? Because there's more inventory. That's why. It's that simple. So ShopSmart has 6.1 million cars that we are hosting. Okay, 6.1. So when it comes to leads, we're going to get the leads, right? And the digital age is tremendously moving real fast in the automotive space. And one thing about the automotive industry, as you know, Trevor, we're in different industries with our digital marketing company, with LookSmart and Clickable, right? As you know, the automotive industry happens to be one that's really ahead of his game. They're really on top of their game.
Right. So let's take a look at the reasons dealers are so happy with ShopSmart Autos, today's sponsor.
Okay, there you go.
Richie, we've been on the road for the past couple of weeks visiting dealers. What did we get from that?
Okay, and I'm glad you brought that up, Trevor. Here's what dealers are saying. I get 5,000, 8,000. I had a dealer say he gets 10,000 unique visitors. So I asked him, okay, I just figured out a percentage what we're converting. And I says, are you getting 350 or 400 leads? He said no to me. Okay, great. Every dealership has their own marketing department, in-house or outside of the house. and everybody is keyed on driving traffic to their website. Well, that's great. If you had that kind of inventory, you would be converting the same thing. If you would have that kind of technology that we have, you'd be converting. What we have is AI technology with clickable. Okay, let's get straight. It's not our technology. This is Clickable's technology, which we're partners with them, business partners, and also LookSmart. LookSmart is the big data. That's what we do there. And then the AI is clickable, and it's unique to that dealership. If I have a lead and you're not my customer, Mr. Dealer, you'll never get the lead. So what happens is I nurture that lead. Once you become my customer, I start nurturing that lead. And because each dealership is unique, in ShopSmart, there's a deal directory there with a map also there. So that tells me a lot. I take that entire page. Each dealership has a landing page, right? 19,800 new car stores all have a landing page within our site that drives the traffic directly to them when they become a customer. That's what the difference is. So it's your brand anyway. It's just not your website. Probably if you would hire us, if we would be in the market for a dealership to hire us and use our technology with Clickable and LookSmart, you would get the same conversion. The only difference is that we have LookSmart and Clickable because we're business partners with those two companies. So that's the only difference that there is. There's really not a whole lot of difference. And of course, the volume of the inventory. The customer looks at a Honda Accord, right, and now sees all the other cars in inventory and now can really compare. Everything's about comparison shopping. You know, that's what they do. So if your website would have everything that ShopSmart has, you would get the same conversion. So why not buy the leads from us? And that's exactly what I tell dealerships. And they right away test it. They right away say, okay, we have, just to let everybody know, we got 5 performance managers. Okay. They take care of all that situation with, once we get the customer, they get turned over, and every 3 days they get a phone call from our performance managers. And our performance managers then decide what they're doing, how their process is, and it could get turned over to our automotive training guys. And now it's a complimentary of 6 hours. That's what separates us from other vendors.
Richie, on the top of what we just saw, we know there's another reason dealers are trusting ShopSmart Autos, the solution, geofencing. Tell us about that new addition.
Okay, so if you look at ShopSmart now, you look at any dealership, it says test drive, right? So when they click the test drive, and that's another lead form that we have now, test drive, right? It gives you the date, their email, the time, and everything, right? So when they go to that dealership, right, and they're not getting, they don't go or whatever, we follow with automation marketing with geofencing, right? So that's what we do. If they leave that dealership and opt that they're not buying, right, we get them. If they go to another dealership, we're tracking that sell because it says it right on the phone, you're opting in. So we're tracking them right away. So if they go into another dealership, we're right away sending them that geofencing technology and getting them to that dealership. They make the appointment. The other thing that we're doing with geofencing is when a customer comes in, that's why the performance managers are so important. So the performance managers call to a dealership. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 appointments. 3 of them showed, and 1 of them walked and didn't buy, or 2 of them walked and didn't buy. We have the platform with geofencing where we get them back in the door, or at least we try to market them. Okay. And that's all included in the package. That's just Everything's included. There ain't an extra upsell for this, upsell for that. No, it's none of that. It's we want to really, we build the platform, right? We put a lot of technology in it. We put a lot of marketing in it. Now the next step is to really test our product in the market, really know that we have a quality product that's going to help dealerships. That's why we're adding all this technology and building a lot of technology wrapped around ShopSmart to help serve our customers better. And we have an entire process where our performance managers, the performance managers are the ones that really communicate with that dealership, okay? And the reason that they communicate is very important for that lead to get closed, to get delivered, okay? Because if it doesn't get delivered, we didn't do anything. It's only important what their ROI is. And talking about ROI, there's something called ROA, which is your asset. What's your biggest asset right now in a dealership? In the digital era, your website. And you're not getting an ROA on it, because based on the dealerships that I went, a lot of dealerships in the Florida state and a lot of dealerships in New York State, because we flew out there for the holidays, as you remember, right?
Right.
So we took that to test the market. We went to a lot of stores. They're not getting their ROA. Asset. Your biggest asset, Mr. Dealer, is your website. And you're driving this traffic that's not converting. That tells me, let's put your ROI here, and let's talk about your ROA. You're not getting the results, not because your marketing company's not getting it, because you don't have enough inventory, you don't have enough stuff there for the consumer to do comparison shopping, for the consumer to look at car reviews, for the consumer to do a lot of stuff as we do, right? So that's the difference when you deal with us as when you deal with another way that you get the traffic and it doesn't convert on your website. So you know what? Increase that ability, right? Increase that volume of your website. Call us, because we have the ability to drive from our site to traffic to your website, because all you got to do is an ad with us. Real simple. So you can buy the leads, you can do ads with us. We have an entire ad network. If you go right into ad network, ShopSmart, you see our ad network right there. I'll put it here on this link so everybody sees. Just go on there and apply for it. And it's real simple. You can run your own ads. You can upload everything. It's very, very, it's user-friendly, UI unbelievable. The user interface that it's got, very user-friendly. Just run an ad, test it, see what happens. So you can take our traffic and drive it to you. That's another solution that we have, and we use the AI and we use big data. For an example, what is big data? So real simple. So the big data goes like this. We know who's searching for what car in what DMA, okay? Very important product. When you know who's searching for that specific car, then we target. There's only so many searches on a DMA, and we know those searches because we have all the inventory, so we have all the data behind us, and we know what's going on. So that's one thing. The AI is, the more data there is, the more it starts learning the artificial intelligence, right? The more it's clicking, the more it's converting. So it's like a machine. We're in the business of machine learning applications. And that's what we've gotten out of all these dealers that I visit, that they understand when you explain it to them like that, They get it. They bypass third-party leads. The first thing when we call dealers or knock on their doors is we don't buy no third-party leads. Okay, but we're not third-party. The only third-party is because it's not your URL, but it's unique VIN specification. It's that car. Okay, that's the difference. So now that being said, what I want to do is I want to thank all my friends on Facebook, all my family for being supportive of me. I want to thank my partners out there. And they've been very, very supportive. There's a lot of changes that went on. Our whole infrastructure change as a company. So we are a company officially in the state of Florida registered. There's 3 or 4 companies that we did out here in the state of Florida based on what's going on with COVID in New York State. We basically decided to come out here to Florida and set all our infrastructure up, some offices, and we traveled here with our team, our CMO, our COO, our CFO, which is Michael Onhai. So we're here with our team, putting things together and strategizing for this great coming year. Because this year, guys, let me tell you something. It's going to be a great year for the automotive space. By the time next year comes here, everybody's going to say, great that we did digital retail. We will push, because of COVID. But you know what? We're selling more cars now. We've learned a whole lot more. Okay. We've learned consumer behavior on the digital space. We've learned social media. There's great solutions out there now, guys. The BDC, the automation BDC thing, the virtual BDC, the appointment. I got to tell you something. One of the things that we have is appointment setters for us. It really does work. B2B appointment setters really, really does work. So everybody that's out there hiring these BDC platforms, these dealerships, you should, because you know what? They manage everything for you. You got a lot of guys out there and a lot of ladies that have been in the car business a long time and are stuck to their old ways. I consider it, right? And they're BDC people. They're very successful, or they were very successful at one time. That doesn't mean that they are on pace now, okay? So dealers, general managers, watch the ladies and the guys that are in that BDC more than 5 or 6 years. If you don't have training all the time and it's just they're watching these lives and they think they're grasping it, they're not at all. Because one of the things that training comes into place, Trevor, is because training is really good. Because when you hire a trainer, he knows what's going on in that store, brings it to your store. That's something that works. And now you increase your numbers. A guy that's watching the live or a lady that's watching the live trying to get information, these lives are what they're called the teasers. Nobody's got the real process. So then you throw something out there to test something, and then it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work because you didn't pay to hire that trainer. This is, you're the product when it's free, right? When you pay for it, you're buying the product from me. So just keep that in mind. So listen, Trevor, I thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. I want to say thank you, all of you, for being with us this past year. Richie, we'll be back next Friday for more on Automotive Digital Retail. Every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I want to say Happy New Year's to all.
Thank you, guys. Take care and enjoy your day.